Hello, hello, and welcome to another Western Cinema Presents Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, directed by Sam Peckinpah. And it stars James Corbin, Chris Christopherson, and you know him, he's a great songwriter and performer, Bob Dylan, Jason Robards, Richard Jacket, Katie I can't pronounce that last name. Slim Pickens,
Right.
uh, Chill Willis, John Black, Rita Coolidge, R. Armstrong, Luke Ascot, and Richard Bright and Matt Chuck. Also, cast. This is a film from 1973, rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour and 55 minutes. Now, as much as we'd love to show you these here films on YouTube, we actually cannot because we are restricted by copyright. Copyright due to the studios and copyright would break the bylaws of YouTube. So we don't have the studio bucks to have those rights. So if you cannot watch with us, we provide a viewing screen on another site. We hope you will watch along with us and add any comments you may have. What would you like to say? Deleted scenes? How you doing today?
Fair to partly cloudy. I have a very vague memory of this movie. I saw it many years ago on television, so it was an edited version. But this, near as I can tell, is a fairly straightforward, very much of its time kind of look at the relationship between Garrett and Bonnie. So it's going to be almost like a first watch for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of fun seeing. It is kind of fun to see Bob Dylan in it because at the time I saw this movie, I was aware of him as a singer and a songwriter. I did not know he had done any movies, so that was kind of a surprise. But yeah, this is going to be almost a first watch for me. It's been quite some time, so there may be some things that I won't remember. But once we are finished up here, I will give you my honest opinion of this version of the Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid, Lincoln County War Story.
All right, there's a link. Well, you see, you can follow scrolling down at the bottom, but if you want to, it should be pinned to both of our chats on this simulcast right here. That is our screening room provided for you. If you'd like to go over and join that room right now, we will get the film underway. All right. So follow this link on over to Cosme, and we will get the film started. I will give you a 5-second countdown. And here we go. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. near Las Cruces, New Mexico. Old Fort Summer, New Mexico, 1881. Wow, this has
Yeah.
really got a pretty good cast.
We've got, apart from James Coburn and Chris Christopherson here, we also have, as you see, L.Q. Jones, Harry Dean Stanton, Matt Clark.
I think they want more than that. I think they might want you dead, dead, dead. Man's got to make $1. I guess this is Bob Dylan singing the cover song about Pat Garrett. This there's the name, Bob Dylan. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Oh, hey, it's that guy. Wow.
Yeah.
This is good. Guy who got out of the top bunk is you might have seen him in Disney's Never Cry Wolf or The Untouchables with Kevin Costner.
Charles Martin Smith is also in American Graffiti and Starman.
Yeah. And the other guy, oh, here we go. I think this seems may have been inspired for Young Guns, the Charlie scene.
Hmm. Ooh,
Damn.
Kids will be kids.
Looks like he did. Looks like he did. I don't think that horse likes you.
Nope. That horse is like, I ain't a gonna.
Best $1.60, $1.70 I've ever spent. Our timestamp is 32:11. Here we have Jason Robards.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's in the U.S. Army. Governor. Okay, governor.
Governor, who would be Governor Lew Wallace.
Yeah.
Who, interesting fact, wrote the book Ben-Hur was based on.
Corbin played Chisholm in Young Guns.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, damn. Nice.
Use a blade, man.
Damn. Damn.
Damn it, he saw Keith Largo.
Wow. This.
Yep.
I wonder if
That's
Bob
where this
Dylan
song
wrote
came
it.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must have wrote it for this movie. Yeah. It's clearly obvious there's a lot of Bob Dylan songs in this film. Damn. Kill the horse. Hello, Tim. Oh, Tim, you missed a lot. Sorry, pal. You should, if you get a chance to check this out, you should. It's quite good so far. Really good. Oh. Mm, mm, mm. Hey, it's got ginger loving. Yeah, gingers.
We get a timestamp there, Bill?
What was that?
We get a timestamp
Yeah.
for folks?
Uh, 1:21:54.
All right. Hold on.
Oh, damn.
Meanwhile, not anymore, you ain't.
Is that D. Wallace?
If so, well, alrighty then.
Wow. This movie would be made today. Hey,
Hello,
Dead
Dead
Man
Man Walking.
Walking. How you doing? Thank you for the. That is her. Wow. Young D. Wallace. Elliot's mom in E.T. and many others. Isn't that's supposed to be Pat Garrett's wife? Yeah. Look, Paul. At least he sniffled your wife before.
Okay, not sure how long I was muted there.
Little boy throwing rocks at Garrett. I really get that line that he said in Young Guns now. You're all Billy bastards.
Yeah.
I get that now. Well, that is Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, directed by Sam Peckinpah. I think I might actually seek out the soundtrack that Bob Dylan had the music from it. Oh, so that had a reversion on 2005 on DVD. Looks like.
Well, there were actually several, and we're going to get into that. All right, we show. God damn it! All right, here we go. Shall we consult the scrolls? And of course, by scrolls, I mean IMDb Pro. All right. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid was released May 23rd, 1973. Had an estimated budget of $4.6 million, making $8 million worldwide. All right. Was nominated at the BAFTAs for Most Promising Newcomer to Leading Film Roles for Chris Christopherson. And Bob Dylan was nominated for the Anthony Asquith Award for Film Music. And Bob Dylan was nominated for a Grammy for Album of Best Original Score written for a motion picture or television special. At the 2006 Satellite Awards, there's a nomination for Best Classic DVD as part of the Sam Peckinpah Legendary Westerns collection. And the film was shot in Tucson, Arizona, and Durango, Mexico. Excuse me. Moving on to trivia. Jason Robards portrayed General Lee Wallace at the time of the film Governor of Arizona, and he wrote Ben-Hur. Bo Hopkins was Sam Peckinpah's first choice for the role of Billy. Monty Hellman was supposed to direct a film as a follow-up to Two-Lane Blacktop, which is also written by Rudy Orlitzer. His first choice to play Billy was James Taylor, who starred in Two-Lane Blacktop, 1971. Rumors began to reach the studio that director Sam Peckinpah was unable to work due to his heavy drinking. So as a joke, a photo was taken which showed Peckinpah on a stretcher being fed whiskey through an IV bottle while cast members carried him. The average shot length, 4.5 seconds on the 2000 DVD version. This is fast by most 70s film standards, but quite slow for Sam Peckinpah. For example, The Wild Bunch had an ASL of 3 seconds, Junior Bonner 3.5 seconds, and The Killer Elite 4 seconds. According to Chris Christopherson, director Sam Peckinpah so detested the studio cut of this film, he actually urinated on the screen. According to Christopher, oh wait, nope, hold on, I can't talk today. My tongue is numb. My tongue is numb. I can't. My tongue is numb. According to Christopherson, Peckinpah hired Donnie Fritz, a longtime collaborator of Christopherson's, as a favor and cast him as Billy the Kid's gang member Beaver, because Fritz had no scripted lines. All he does is repeat whatever anyone says in the movie. Christopherson was 36 at the time of filming, playing a character who was killed at the age of 21. Christopherson and Peckinpah had several heated arguments while making the film, and others on the set often thought they would fight physically. Peckinpah, always very confrontational, wanted to fight Christopherson, but he feared Christopherson's former Army Airborne Ranger would kill him. Christopherson answered, "Yeah, Sam, I think you're right." In spite of this, Peckinpah referred to Christopherson as, and I quote, "a fucking great guy," and said that working with him was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Peckinpah had Roger Miller, singer of King of the Road, in mind for the soundtrack, but Christopherson suggested Bob Dylan. Chris Christopherson and Rita Coolidge married shortly after filming. At various stages of the film's gestation, there was talk of Marlon Brando and Jon Voight, Robert Redford and Sam Shepard, and Jack Nicholson and John Denver playing the lead roles. John Denver is Billy the Kid. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. How drunk were you? All right. After seeing Christopherson perform at the Troubadour in Los Angeles and his appearance in Cisco Pike, Peckinpah decided to cast him as Billy the Kid. Barry Sullivan, who played Chisholm in this movie, played Pat Garrett in Tall Man. James Coburn played John Chisholm in Young Guns 2. Due to a bent flange, all of the shots made with one Panavision camera were out of focus on the right side, making the footage unusable. MGM had refused Sam Peckinpah's request to have a camera mechanic on call in Durango, and because all the footage was sent back to Los Angeles for processing, the problem wasn't discovered for several weeks. MGM finally sent a camera mechanic to the set after the faulty lens was replaced. By then, the film was several days over schedule and several $100,000 over budget. While making this film, Sam Peckinpah's alcoholism was so advanced that he would have to start the day with a large tumbler of vodka to stop shaking. He would be drinking grenadine by mid-afternoon. After that, he was too drunk to work. James Coburn recalled that Peckinpah was only coherent for 4 hours a day. According to David Weedle's book on Peckinpah, If They Move, Kill 'Em, many of the scenes in the movie were shot almost guerrilla style by second unit director Gordon T. Dawson at various times on very singular locations to make up for the originally shot footage that was rendered unusable by the bent lens flange and subsequent focus problems. On the accompanying featurette on the 2-disc DVD release of the film, Paul Cedar, author of Peckinpah the Western Films, A Reconsideration, said there were rumors back in 1973 that MGM was preparing a cut of the film that was only 95 minutes in length and cut out much of the expository material to cut from one action scene to the next. According to Pauline Kael, Sam Peckinpah even considered allowing that version to be released for the explicit purpose of showing how damaging the MGM regime of that time was.
Wow.
Although Chris Christopherson was widely felt to be too old to play Billy the Kid, it should be noted that James Coburn was much older than the actual Pat Garrett. When the film was, that's more of. All right, let's move past that. Sometimes they kind of word these. Sometimes they tell you the same facts a few times. They just reword them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it. Richard Jekyll appeared in Chisholm, in which Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid were the primary characters. Sam Peckinpah believed it was his chance to make a definitive statement on the Western genre and complete the revision he had begun with Ride to High Country and The Wild Bunch. In the original script, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid never met on screen until the film's conclusion. Rudy Wurlitzer reportedly resented Sam Peckinpah's reworking of his script. Wurlitzer wrote a book highly unfavorable to Peckinpah. Chris Christopherson's band members play small roles in the film. Peckinpah had never heard of Bob Dylan before and was reportedly moved by hearing him play the proposed title song and hired him immediately. MGM President James T. Aubrey, for economic reasons, refused to give Peckinpah the time or budget required, forcing Peckinpah to rely on local crew members in the Mexican state of Durango. Many of the cast and crew members came down with influenza during the shoot. MGM President James T. Aubrey objected to several scenes in which he considered superfluous to the film's plot. And Peckinpah and his crew reportedly worked weekends and lunch hours in order to secretly complete the sequences. Aubrey began to send telegrams to the set complaining about the number of camera setups that Peckinpah used and the time spent to shoot specific scenes. According to producer Gordon Carroll, the movie set was a battleground. Multiple technical problems led to costly reshoots, including malfunctioning cameras. The film finished 21 days behind schedule and $1.6 million over budget. By the time the films and the editing room, Sam Peckinpah's relationship with the studio and his own producers had reached a breaking point. MGM President Aubrey, enraged at the cost and production overruns, demanded the film for an unrealistic release date. Peckinpah and his editors were forced into a desperate situation in order to finish on time. Furthermore, Aubrey still objected to several sequences in the film for which he wanted removed, forcing Peckinpah to engage in protracted negotiations over the film's content. Bob Dylan had never done a feature film score before, and Peckinpah's usual composer, Jerry Fielding, was unhappy with being relegated to a minor role in the scoring process. Peckinpah did a complete preview version of the film, which was shown to critics on at least one occasion. Martin Scorsese has made Mean Streets and was at the screening. He praised the film as Peckinpah's greatest since The Wild Bunch. This version, however, would never see the light of day for over 10 years.
Wow.
After Peckinpah was forced out of the production, MGM President Aubrey had the film cut from 2 hours and 4 minutes to 1 hour and 46 minutes. The final cut was a critical and financial failure, and the cast and crew largely disowned it. Sam Peckinpah purchased a full-page ad in the Hollywood Reporter mocking rumors of budget overruns and a brass at MGM. Hollywood producers were not amused. The production was often hit by hot weather and dust storms. Charlton Heston, Robert Mitchum, and Paul Newman were all offered the role of Pat Garrett. Newman played Billy the Kid in The Left-Handed Gun, which we've shown here on the show previously.
Yep.
Peter Fonda and Malcolm McDowell were offered the role of Billy the Kid.
Oh.
According to Paul Cedars. Yeah, that would have been interesting. According to Paul Cedars' 2015 book, The Authentic Death and Contentious Afterlife of Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, the original 1973 theatrical release ended with a two-shot of a smiling Garrett and Billy from the opening scene. A decision imposed upon the film by Aubrey that editors Roger Spottiswoode, Garth Craven, and Robert L. Wolfe hated. The 2005 special edition ends on a freeze frame of Garrett appearing to be swallowed up by the desert landscape as he leaves Fort Sumner. The film is included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die, edited by Steven Snyder. In Chisholm, Pat Garrett was played. I don't know why they're bringing up Chisholm, but here we go. Pat Garrett was played by a 36-year-old Glenn Corbett, and Billy the Kid was played by a then 26-year-old Jeffrey Dewell. I lost a page. One moment, please.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that was Dee Wallace in an uncredited.
It's not. It's not though.
It's not. Okay.
No. It's Rutanya Olda, and she was in Amityville 2, among others. Moving up. Let me see. All right. Al Pacino told a German interviewer in 2014 that he was offered the role of Billy the Kid, but it didn't work out because he couldn't ride a horse. He was also very wary of Peckinpah's hard-living reputation. This would turn out to be Peckinpah's final Western. James Coburn was 44 at the time of filming, although Pat Garrett was 30 to 31 during the events shown. MGM Studio, after his erratic behavior on the set and many more reasons, could not afford to fire director Peckinpah because more than most of the crew, actors, and technicians were loyal to him and would have followed him, and that would have put the whole $3 million production without an end. MGM executive James T. Aubrey, who also cut the film severely, lost his job after the studio withdrawal in October 1973. Peckinpah then said that the failure of the film was because of Aubrey's work against it. It was the best thing in the world. It was the hamina. I'm drunk. All right. Sam Peckinpah then said that the failure of the film because of Aubrey's work against it was the best thing for the world. One copy of the uncut movie before James T. Aubrey's censor's work was done was stolen from the projection booth of the screen test room, and that allowed the uncut version that we now know to survive and being shown to audiences. Richard Jekyll has twice portrayed Billy the Kid. Both were TV movies. Once in 1954 in Stories of the Century. The other was in Go West, Young Girl. He was, of course, in the hunting party that killed Billy in Pat Garrett, and he was killed by Billy in Chisholm. All right. According to Paul Cedar in both his book Peckinpah, The Western Films, A Reconsideration, and on the DVD's audio commentary track, the primary reason for the rush shooting, editing, and release of the film was because MGM's president Aubrey, having poured $120 million into the building of the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas, needed cash on books for the studio stockholders. This film was one of many by MGM that were rush released because of this, and one of many that either did not succeed at the box office or were mangled in the editing by Aubrey. Chris Christopherson and Rita Coolidge met in 1970 and had been dating ever since. They did not meet and fall in love while filming. In fact, he got her a small role in the film. She was also not his on-screen love interest in the film. She had a very small role as did other friends of Christopherson. Harry Dean Stanton, who played Luke, and Luke Askew, who played Enos, would go on to portray rival polygamists Roman Grant and Hollis Green, respectively, in HBO's series Big Love. The cast includes 3 Oscar winners, James Coburn, Jason Robards, and Bob Dylan, and 6 Oscar nominees, Chris Christopherson, Richard Jekyll, Katie Girardo, Sam Peckinpah, Bruce Dern, and Joe Wills. The classic song Knocking on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan was written specifically for the soundtrack of this film. and would soon become a worldwide hit after its release. It's among the most popular and covered Dylan's post-1960s works, with covers from Guns N' Roses, Eric Clapton, Randy Crawford, and many more. The lyrics refer directly to the scene of frontier lawman Pickens' last moments, as he refers to his wife, played by Katie Gerardo, as Mama. Mama put my guns in the ground. I can't use them anymore. All right. In the scene where Garrett gets a hot shave, he then leaves clean shaven as Bob Dylan follows him out. In the next scene with Jason Robards, James Coburn is sporting a nice mustache. Oops. All right.
Yep. Oops.
Of the 3 versions of this film, the others being the now scarce 106-minute theatrical release and the 1988 122-minute restored version, or what IMDb's credit order is based upon. The 2005 115-minute restored version, which is the one we watched here today, is the most commonly available version half a century later. Since users who cross-check with IMDb's credits may get confused, here are some of the differences. The credit order is exactly the same until Michael T. Mickler, and then these performers sequentially show for the 115-minute version: Rutanya Alda, Walter Kelly, Aurora Clavell, and Rudy Wurlitzer. Gene Evans, Donnie Fritz, missing Elijah Cook Jr., Dub Taylor, and Don Levy, most likely also missing Bruce Dern in his uncredited role. The old man who speaks with Pat just before he locates Billy is the director, Sam Peckinpah, 47 years old at the time, even though he looks much older. Chris Christopherson's gravelly voice was felt to be wrong for his 21-year-old character. At first, Peckinpah intended a scene where the horse would be shot through the neck while running. However, the stuntman, supposed to be on the horse, persuaded him against it. Not out of respect for the horse, because he claimed to filmed a similar scene in another movie in that it didn't look good. Nonetheless, the film faced criticism from conservationists for a scene in which protagonists shoot chickens with their feet buried in the ground. While working through Wurlitzer, Peckinpah rewrote the script in order to create a more cyclical narrative and added a prologue and epilogue depicting Garrett's own assassination at the hands of the man who hired him to kill the kid. All right. And that is all of the trivia from IMDb Pro. Very, very troubled production.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. One of them being Peckinpah's alcoholism, studio meddling. Now, like we said, there were 3 cuts of the film. There's the 122-minute restored version. I've never seen that version. This was my first time seeing this version, which is 115 minutes, which is now, I guess, the most well-known. Now, the version that I initially saw back in the day was an edited for television version of the 106-minute theatrical release. And it does make something of a hash of things. And that's not just because it was cut because of the content. This was an R-rated film. It earns the R rating, but because, not only was it cutting out the nudity and some of the gore, it's 106 minutes with commercials, so it's being cut for time as well. So quite frankly, I did not like the movie when I first saw it. I still have some issues with it after having seen this version. I think the editing's an issue. but now we know why that
Pacing
occurred,
a little bit
because
was
the pacing is an issue, for sure. I
did like all the action
but
and gunfight
you
scenes.
had, yeah, you had people involved. You had a studio, a director, a screenwriter, who were all basically trying to make a different movie. And I think it kind of shows in the film. I don't hate the movie. I've seen far worse. We've done movies on this show that I think are worse. For various reasons. But could I recommend it? No, I wouldn't. But I would not recommend it, but it is worth a look at the same time. If anybody catches my drift. But yeah, it's a movie that has issues. But there were, like I said, there were reasons for those issues. And it shows. But that's just my opinion on it. Having now seen 2 versions of the movie. So one good thing I would say about this edition than the prior version that I'd seen, at least it makes a little bit more sense. I mean, it's still random. It still feels like random stuff happening, but it does make a little bit more sense. Because, like I said, the version I saw was edited in a way where it made such a hash of things that it is what it is. It's one of those movies that I would say makes a case against studio meddling and go in agreeing on the movie you're going to make, or don't do it. For a movie, it made a really good soundtrack.
Yes, so, it did. I'm gonna find the vinyl.
Check that out. I still think the music is the best thing about this movie. So, yeah. So okay. Points for Bob Dylan for the music.
Yeah.
So, if for nothing else, his character doesn't have much to do in the movie, but he still kind of attempts to make.
He did throw that knife pretty good into that one fella.
He does, yeah. He's like I said when we said we were going to do this movie. He's this movie's version of the Lou Diamond Phillips character from Young Guns. He's the knife man. He's the blade man. So and he's pretty good, as we come to see.
Yeah. All right, so let's have a vote for next week's feature. Okay. I want to offer you guys either Red River with John Wayne, or we can go comedy and do the Apple Dumpling Game. Put your vote in now. Red River was from 1948, and Apple Dumpling Gang was 1975. Don Knutts and Tim Conway.
Don't want to do that. Hold on. All right. For those of you who are remaining, vote now. The poll is up in my chat. Bill, I'm assuming it's up in yours. Next week's film, the John Wayne classic Red River, or the Don Knotts, Tim Conway comedy, The Apple Dumpling Gang. All right. I do want to say hello to some of the people who joined us today in the chat. Of course, Connie Clary, FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim, Dad Man Walking 55, and of course, Poe stopped by. And of course, I would like to thank anyone who might have been following along with us on Cosme, and everyone who watches in the watches the rerun. Of course, I would like to remind you that this was just commentary only. We are unable, due to copyright and not wanting to upset the ghost of Sam Peckinpah, we could not show you the film.
Yeah.
So you would, if you are not watching live, you would have to watch either with a physical copy, and we did watch the version that is it's on Fandango, right? Which is the 2005 115-minute edit, DVD edit.
Yeah.
But like we said, if you have Fandango at home, you can use that to stream with. All right, let's see how the poll is going. Okay, so far we have the Apple Dumpling Gang winning. So far, got all the votes. We'll leave the poll up for a few more minutes before we end the program. And also, I would like to thank everyone who has been watching our month-long Salute to the Troops over on our Action Theater program. Especially all of those who watched The Great Escape. That got a pretty high turnout of repeat viewers. So thank you all very much for making that program a success, and the show itself a success. And the next, please give me a moment to look that up quickly. We will be returning with a double dose of Action Theater this week. As we will be airing on Thursday at 4:30, which is our usual time. We will be watching the classic The Bridge on the River Kwai with Alec Guinness and William Holden. And on the 27th will be our Memorial Day double feature of Audie Murphy's To Hell and Back and The Battle of Britain. And that will start at 2:30. All right. Let me check back here with the
Okay.
poll.
Yeah. The poll's up in also in my chat, so if you guys want to vote there too, we can determine.
And right now, the Apple Dumpling Gang is winning by a full 100% of the vote over on my channel. Let's see.
Okay. Go to my channel and vote there also. So we well, it looks pretty looking like the Apple Dumpling Gang. I need you guys to vote over on my channel as well.
Oh. Yes, vote. Vote like the wind.
Yes, vote. Red River or Apple Dumpling Gang. Come on, people.
All right.
Tools.
All right. While the folks are voting, Bill, what do you have coming up?
Well, we'll be here. There'll be some Wednesday karaoke. And then of course, Action Theater of Bridge over the River Kwai on Thursday, and then Extra Dose next week, next on Saturday, and that is you already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And then back here for looks like it's unanimous. The Apple Dumpling gig for next week's at Western Cinema.
Okay.
I think we'll go
A
ahead and
little change of pace.
yeah,
Little change of pace comedy.
yeah.
Which, if I am remembering correctly, will be the first time I've actually seen that film. So we'll see. Unless I can find it between now and next week. All right. The Apple Dumpling Gang will be next week's film.
Yeah.
All right.
It's nice. It's nice to throw in a comedy every now and then. You know.
Nice change of pace. Yeah, we well, we have said we like to branch out and do things that are, a little bit different. The more comedic westerns, we want to do more of those. We want to do more kind of older public domain movies, so we can actually show you the movies on screen.
Yeah.
We would like to do more of that, both here and on Action Theater. We would like to do more of that. you know, so we don't always want to do the normal, you know, shoot 'em up kind of westerns. We do want to do some things that are a little different. We want to do more, you know, along the lines of what I said, maybe some public domain stuff, some more comedies, some more modern day type films. And there are some that we've yet to do. Maybe something that's kind of into horror Western genre, that maybe do some of those more towards Halloween and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I've got some
Because
good
I know you
ones
got a
lined
few
up.
in your mind there. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of ones that were mentioned last year that we didn't get to.
Didn't get to.
But yeah. There's actually one called The Oregon Trail. It's a western or western. It's no, which I already have a copy of that. Of course.
There's I know there's a movie called Dead in Tombstone that's kind of a zombie western.
Oh yeah,
movie.
Denny Trejo.
Denny Trejo, yeah, that we were talking about doing for last Halloween, but didn't get to.
Yeah. We could actually start that like at the end of September. Coming up.
Ravenous, I think, is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a possibility. So
the
yeah,
Burrow,
definitely,
the Burrows.
Oh, Burrowers. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
I have a
that's a
copy of it here.
It's a horror western.
Kind of imagine if you had John Wayne and Tremors. And that's kind of what the Burrowers is. Only you make John Wayne Clancy Brown, and they actually identify his character in the script as a John Wayne type. His character is described in the script. I've read it. His character is described as 6'4", 250 pounds of John Wayne.
You know what?
John Wayne.
We could even do like the Tremors, the original Tremors, because that borderline
kind of could
horror sci-fi. Yeah. It's very much western because, what's his name is there? They're both cowboyish type guys in that film.
Yeah.
And it's set in like Nevada, and it's just all western, and in a way, so it's kind of as a subgenre. It fits. Yeah, it's enough It's enough western to be part of western cinema.
Yeah, and we do want to do more subgenre type films to mix things up. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely down for doing Tremors. I'm definitely down for doing the Burrowers. Maybe revisit, not necessarily this year, but down the line, maybe revisit a couple of the ones we've done before, like Bone Tomahawk and some other ones.
Yeah.
Kind of do like a second viewing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Definitely, we definitely want to change things up a little bit and make some changes. All right. Bill's already told you what he's going to be up to on the channel. More karaoke, of course, action theater, as our salute to the troops continues. Here in about 75 minutes will be my next episode of Unscripted, entitled If I Had a Hammer. It's episode 63. And I'm going to be talking about someone whose name rhymes with Smalek Maldwin. And the FBI non-investigation into his shenanigans. Unscripted is the pre-game show, the Geeky Geezers, over on Aged Boomers channel. So I will be over there right after my show is completed. I'll be in the chat, moderating as usual. And after Geeky Geezers is over, get yourself a nice snack, something to drink, and join me back over on my channel at 12:05 a.m. Eastern, 11:05 Central, for episode 52 of The Other Side of Midnight. My guest this evening will be Sin's Corner, and we're going to be talking about the current state of cinema, current day box office, and how the revivals of older films are doing better than the new releases. Then, of course, tomorrow, right now at set for 10:10 p.m., will be Mystery Movie Night at the Regal. And AMC, since Off the Cover will be joining Sin and I once again this week for this week's movie. My prediction is that it's going to be Ezra with Bobby Cannavale, Rose Byrne, and Robert De Niro. That's just my guess. I don't know if that's going to be the actual film, but check us out tomorrow night and find out what the film is, and you're going to get our honest opinion on it. Then, of course, Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. over on my channel will be live from Sparkwood in 21. It's a retrospective of the Twin Peaks television series. Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, and Aged Boomer are going to be joining me for the penultimate episode of season 2, entitled Miss Twin Peaks. All right. And then, of course, that brings us back on over to Thursday, which, as we said, is the next episode of Action Theater, Bridge Over the River Kwai. And then join me later on that night for the weekend update, which will be at 11:30, and find out what I'm going to be doing next week.
All right.
Before I forget, I am going to be joining Big Al Presents for this Friday's special edition of Films with Friends. And we're going to be watching Solomon Kane, starring James Purefoy and Max von Sydow, based on the stories written by Robert E. Howard, who, of course, also created Conan. Join me Friday night at 8 p.m.
Is that the kind of Indiana Jones-ish type of movie? Or am I thinking of a different film?
Ish. It has some Indiana Jones type moments. It's got a little... it's got some action. It's got some mysticism to it, and what I meant
was he's kind of like dressed up like Indiana Jones apparel.
Now he's kind of dressed up like a pilgrim, actually. But it does have some Indiana Jones type sequences to it, and some Conan type sequences, and there's wizards and magic and all that. So,
because there was this movie from the 80s that
you're thinking of King Solomon's Mines.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that,
Alan Quarter, or I now call it Alan Quartermain and King Solomon's Mines. Yeah.
Well, that, I guess I'll say the parting words. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Really appreciate it. Remember always to be excellent to one another, and always party on And we can't wait to see you on the next one. Back to you, Deletions.
All right. I would once again like to thank everyone who joined us on both of our channels and everyone who will be watching the replay. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like, share out the stream, and if you are new to either Bill's channel or mine, please feel free to subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss anything. And if you are subscribed already, please make sure that you still are, because YouTube likes to unsubscribe you without your permission. I'd like to, of course, remind everybody to subscribe to everyone who is in the chat, including Dadman Walking, FKHC 2005. Poe is with us, and of course, Connie Cleary. She also has a second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. And I understand there's some new content up on that page, so please go over and check that out. From HQ and our second home office in Arizona, good night, take care, stay strong. As Eric 13 would say, watch more fucking film, because this is how we win.
Later, folks.